Hello, my beautiful people. Well, this video's been a long time coming.
Over the past year or so, the news media and the internet has been complaining about one certain thing, and that is cancel culture.
Now, cancel culture has been around for a while now, but it really started to pick up steam in the last few months.
With many conservative media outlets and YouTube channels in particular showing their anger that their favorite childhood things have been canceled.
But the question is, why?
Why are so many people complaining about things getting canceled, and why are so many things getting canceled in the first place?
Well, sisters, join me as I take a look at some of the biggest cancelings from the last couple of months, along with one from last year, to finally understand the cancel culture craze.
First up is Paw Patrol. For those unaware, Paw Patrol is an animated preschool series that first aired back in 2013 and has since become Nickelodeon's most popular preschool series in modern times.
Okay, sounds like a cute little preschool series. But what does this have to do with cancel culture? Well, in order to answer that question, we're gonna have to travel back in time to the summer of 2020.
In 2020, the Black Lives Matter movement became bigger than ever due to the deaths of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, with many black people and even people of all sorts of different races being sick and tired of the abuse that African Americans and all other minority races have faced in the country, particularly from police officers. And in the past couple of years, many people have changed their viewpoint on police officers. Some people saying that there are still some good cops out there, but a lot of them are racist idiots who are just terrible at their job, while other people are completely pro the police, coming up with these stupid slogans like "Back the Blue" and "Blue Lives Matter," all made to counteract Black Lives Matter. But I'm getting ahead of myself. You're probably wondering, how does Paw Patrol connect to this? Later that year, White House Secretary Kayleigh McEnany, is that how you pronounce her name? Made a statement in regard to Black Lives Matter. And in the statement, she brought up some TV shows that were canceled due to the backlash. One of them, she stated, was Paw Patrol.
Wow, that sounds like a completely ballsy move for Nickelodeon to do, just canceling their most popular preschool show like that. Only it's a complete fucking lie.
Not only did Nickelodeon say that they were not going to cancel the series and that they weren't going to get rid of Chase, they were also developing a movie based on the series that will be released later in August of this year. And looking at this image, who's in the film? Why, it's Chase!
I can't believe that to this day, people still think that the show was canceled and they got rid of Chase. If Nickelodeon did cancel the show and got rid of Chase, then why the hell would they continue production of the movie and keep said character? I swear, misinformation can get in the way of common sense on a daily basis.
Next, we have the Muppets. In January of 2021, Disney announced that the original Muppet Show would be heading to Disney+. Now, many Muppet fans, including myself, were extremely excited to finally be able to watch all 5 seasons of the original Muppet Show on Disney+, after waiting over a year ever since Disney Plus launched to watch the show again.
Then the big day came. On February 19th, 2021, all 5 seasons of the original Muppet Show came to Disney Plus. But not every episode made it over. But not everything from the series made it over. A few segments and even entire episodes were unavailable due to copyright reasons with the music. But that's not important. The real thing that made the internet go bonkers isn't what Disney removed, but what they added.
Around 20 episodes or so came with a 10-second disclaimer warning some audiences about some little iffy depictions of some racial stereotypes and offensive stuff in said episodes that might offend some people. This ranged from Johnny Cash singing for the Confederate flag to that.
And of course, people weren't happy about this. Many people were saying things like, Disney doesn't think the Muppets are woke enough, or the Muppets were canceled, or the Muppets were banned. I'm not kidding. Donald Trump Jr. of all people had this to say.
They've banned the Muppets. Right? I mean...
Kermit, help me out here.
You know, it's amazing. You are 100% wrong. I mean, nothing you've said has been right.
Do you not know what the word banned means? Banned means you can't see it. There's no way to access it. In the case of the Muppet Show, you can still go to Disney Plus and watch the episodes. Yeah, there's a disclaimer behind some of them, and some segments are missing. But the bottom line is, you can still go watch the majority of the series legally on Disney Plus. God! And when the frick did people get triggered over a trigger warning? Is this where we are as a society now? Where people get triggered over trigger warnings? That's so you know, people get pissed over a disclaimer that says this program might cause seizures, or this program is only made for mature audiences. Like, my God!
Next is Mr. Potato Head. Again, back in February, Hasbro announced that they would change the name of Mr. Potato Head to Potato Head.
Now, keep in mind, Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head are still going to be a thing. It's just that the brand is now called Potato Head, and the boxes now have additional little parts so that kids can create their own Potato Head families. How the hell is that too hard to understand?
Once again, conservative media claimed that the toy was canceled, that Mr. Potato Head wasn't woke enough, and that Mr. Potato Head is a strong man.
It's a potato! It has no genitals! What Mr. Potato Head toys were you looking at to see genitalia? Because last I checked, it's smooth as butter down there!
People were legit freaking out about this, claiming that Hasbro was making kids think men and women don't exist. Even though you can clearly see that Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head are still on the boxes, but most conservatives don't know how to use their brains, let alone their eyes.
To be completely honest, I think that if Hasbro never announced this, no one would give a damn. I probably wouldn't have. I probably would just walk by the toy in the store and just think nothing of it. It's still recognizable as Potato Head. It just dropped the Mr. All Hasbro is doing is letting kids be a little bit more creative by making their own Potato Head families, while also adapting to modern times in order to make more money. Come to think about it, companies trying to make more money seems like something conservatives would be happy about.
Claiming that the toy was canceled is a flat-out lie. You can still buy them at stores, and they're still called Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. So, Mr. Potato Head is not canceled. Our next case of quote-unquote cancel culture is Dr. Seuss. Yet again, in February 2021, Dr. Seuss Enterprises announced that they would no longer sell 6 of their books. These include And to Think I Saw It on Mulberry Street, If I Ran the Zoo, McElliot's Pool, Scrambled Egg Super, On Beyond Zebra, and The Cat's Quizzer. The reason being is that these books consist of dated racial stereotypes, particularly African Americans and Asian Americans. And since none of these books are super popular, they can stop selling them without hurting their business.
So from a moral perspective and from a business perspective, this seems like a pretty good move on Dr. Seuss's part.
Guess what? Conservatives didn't think that.
Yup, the right was bitching about how Dr. Seuss isn't woke enough, or the left canceled the Cat in the Hat.
Hey, guess what? You can still go to stores, libraries, and websites to pick up Dr. Seuss books. And you can also go to sites like Amazon and eBay to pick up the books that aren't being published anymore. And also, none of these books are any of the big classics.
These are 6 lesser-known books in the Dr. Seuss library that depict outdated drawings of people of other races. If these books were The Cat in the Hat, Lorax, Horton, Grinch, Green Eggs and Ham, stuff like that, I'd understand the outcry. And chances are, you've probably never read or even heard of half of these books before it was announced that they were canceled.
And keep in mind, the Muppets, Dr. Seuss, Mr. Potato Head, all this crap happened in February in just a week or two. We're still in a pandemic, and the right-wing media is focusing on saving the Muppets and Dr. Seuss. Ironic, since about a decade ago, they were the ones trying to cancel them.
Hollywood is once again trying to indoctrinate our children about a woodland creature who speaks for the trees and fights rampant industrialism.
Is liberal Hollywood using class warfare to kind of brainwash our kids?
They were concerned about us having some prejudice against oil companies, and I can tell you that's categorically not true.
Almost as laughable as accusing Fox News as, being news. Yeah, if they take what I say seriously, they got a real big problem.
And finally, we have Pepe Le Pew. In March 2021, Warner Bros. Announced that Pepe wouldn't be in Space Jam: A New Legacy.
The funny thing is, Pepe was actually supposed to be in the film.
The scene would have had Bugs Bunny and LeBron James in a bar from Casablanca. Pepe would have been a barkeep, and he'd kiss a woman's arm. But the woman slaps him in a cartoony way. Bugs and LeBron ask Pepe where Lola is. And in this scene, Pepe reveals that he has a restraining order from Penelope Pussycat, the cat that Pepe would often chase in his cartoons. After that, LeBron would teach Pepe about consent.
Now, the subject of Pepe Le Pew and consent is nothing new. People around the animation community have been talking about this stuff for decades. But when it was announced that Pepe's scene got cut from Space Jam 2, that's when it got mainstream and people outside of the animation community were talking about it. And people were split right down the middle. Some people thought that Pepe's cartoons were outdated and shouldn't be shown to children, while others thought that there was nothing wrong with them and they were funny. Again, I'm kind of split down the middle.
And yes, the right were claiming cancel culture again. But the unique thing about this and all the other stories I've talked about is that the big news media outlets talked about it in the first place.
So the big question is, why? Why are so many properties getting canceled so close to each other within a couple months? And why do conservative news outlets and YouTubers fear it so much?
It's actually quite simple. Conservative news sites such as Fox News and Newsmax are built off of fear and bigotry. They don't care about the actual news as long as it causes controversy and makes them money. So, to see society and children's media force a liberal agenda, obviously they wouldn't be happy about that. They'd rather see harmful stereotypes and outdated humor being normalized in modern society, ignoring all of the growing that the country and even the planet has gone through in the last couple of decades. Another reason is that it's a distraction from the real world. We're still in a pandemic. Sure, more and more people are getting vaccinated and things are certainly getting better. But it's not over yet. Fox News and several of the big Republicans have been spreading misinformation about the coronavirus, and they know it. So, as a distraction from it all, they focus on meaningless stories, such as The Muppet Show getting a disclaimer, Dr. Seuss books not being sold anymore, and Pepe Le Pew getting cut from Space Jam 2. In conclusion, cancel culture is real, and in many ways, it can make our society better. But with lack of research, blatant racism, and desperate attempt to distract people from COVID, cancel culture has become a tool used by right-wing media to spread lies and misinformation on freaking children's content, never knowing the true definition of cancel culture and instead seeing simple criticism as such.
The world is changing at a drastic rate, and our media, especially the one that's aimed at children, needs to reflect that. In the case of older media, simple things like a disclaimer can help kids learn that racial stereotypes are wrong. A potato toy with extra parts can help kids be creative and accepting of different types of families. And a cartoon skunk, possibly changing his ways, can have a kid learn about consent. If there's anything to learn from cancel culture, be kind. Accept others for who they are. Acknowledge the past so you can learn from it. And do your research. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.